Hi everyone, my name is Michael Palmer. I'm a composer based in London, UK, and I'm doing a quick post today for filmmakers, especially those who don't have a musical background, never played an instrument, for example, but might be huge music fans and do a great job of selecting music for their films, but don't talk the language of music to composers like myself. Specifically, I want to talk today about tempo and how that can be perceived and communicated in the briefing process and giving feedback and everything like that. So that piece of music you're hearing in the background, that's something I'm developing for a music library. They've commissioned me to write an album of epic music. So that's why you're hearing the grand sort of rising strings there. And I just want to have a listen to that again. And I'm going to sort of mark out the tempo, how it can be perceived. So let's have a listen. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so if you were editing to that piece, you might choose slower shots. But what's interesting is this piece is at 120 BPM, and I'm going to bring in different elements now, which won't affect the tempo, staying at 120. Incidentally, BPM stands for beats per minute. So as you can see, we're at 120 beats per minute. That's not going to change through this demonstration. So firstly, I'm going to bring in a glockenspiel part, which sounds like this. Just play it in isolation quickly. So that already feels like it's kind of moving along a bit more quickly. And let's hear that with the other strings. Here we go. So the introduction of that part has already given us a sense of greater speed, but actually technically the speed hasn't changed. It's still 120. And I'm now going to bring in some bass parts. Let me just play those in isolation as well so you can hear them. So underneath those strings is these. And that's a synth stacked with cello. And it gives it more sort of pace and a feeling of emergency. So let's hear that with the others. Yeah, so we've introduced more elements, still at 120, but things feel a bit faster. And they're going to get even faster in terms of the perception of speed when I introduce more things. Let's bring in the drums. Just play those in isolation. So that, you can also count that. If you're a drummer, you might go 1E, 1E end, a 2E end, a 3E end, a 4E end, a 1E end, a 2E end, a 3E end, a 4E end. That's the way drummers count 16th notes. The 16th refers to 16th divisions within the bar. So another way to say this to a composer would be, let's make it faster. Instead of faster, let's introduce more subdivisions. That's essentially what we're doing with this process. So let's hear all that together. So as you can see, that has a lot more pace. And the final element I'm going to bring in, which I'll play to in isolation quickly first, is this string line. Now, I would say it's not only the pace of the notes, it's also the choice of notes. So da 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 da. That sort of ba-da gives me at least a sense of like something's about to happen, sort of slightly emergency sounding thing. Yeah, so let's hear that with the rest of the track. Yeah, so it's sort of motoring along a lot faster now. I'm just going to return quickly to what we heard at the beginning of this video, which was just the slow strings, just to show you how it did feel in the beginning, as opposed to what you just heard. Oh, let me take those basses out, cellos rather. Here we go, one more time. Yeah, so that all feels a lot slower, but it's still 120 beats per minute. So this is just something to think about when you're dealing with composers like myself, is often saying faster doesn't mean you increase the speed. It means that you increase the subdivisions, or slower could mean that you take subdivisions out. Anyway, something to think about. I hope you enjoyed listening to that piece. It's been developed into a full 3.5-minute track for the Epic album that I'm doing. And look out for that when it comes out. I'll be spreading the word. Okay, thanks for watching and see you on the next one.